Hello and welcome to Carey Field on the campus of Abington High School for today's MIAA Division IV softball matchup. It is the Wahconah Regional Warriors and your Abington Green Wave doing battle here in Abington. This time these two teams faced each other 3 years ago in Wahconah, while in Dalton, Massachusetts. I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson. Pleasure to be joined alongside Dr. James Madden, Henry Rogers. Guys, you were here Monday night when the Green Wave defeated their first round opponent, Elsie Testa, the star in that one, James.
Yeah, Elsie did what she's done not only all season long, but throughout her entire Abington High School career. 17 punch-outs in the win, 9-0 win against a Manchester Essex team that was very hard to really break through against. And we talked about it on Monday night, how Manchester Essex in a 9-0 game, it didn't seem like it was that much of a blowout for the majority of the game. Their pitcher pitched very well, but Abington just had two big innings, and the Hornets weren't able to answer because of, like I said, Elsie Testa's gem, including her 17 strikeouts.
Henry, these two teams faced each other 3 years ago. As we know in high school, that means that much of the roster has turned over since then. However, both coaching staffs remain, and I'm sure Abington remembers a couple of memorable things from that trip out west. But you are familiar with the Green Wave shortstop, Brenna Howley, and she is one of the returning players that was on that team.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a revenge game for her especially, but I think even just the rest of the team as well, even though they may not have experienced it, they definitely want to beat this team because it's definitely been a bitter taste in them for the last couple of years. Obviously, you had the bus situation as well that happened, so that wasn't ideal at all.
On the way home, after that shutout loss in the round of 8, the Green Waves bus got stuck under a bridge out in Dalton. Led to some traumatic memories for a number of people. Testa, I believe, was just a freshman on that team. James, Elsie Testa likes to work with a lot of quick pace.
Yeah, and that was a common theme we saw on Monday night. Both pitchers worked very fast, but Elsie worked extremely fast and also keeps your field into it. She got ahead of just about every hitter. Henry and I talked about it. Seemingly every single at-bat seemed like an 0-2 count, and Elsie doesn't waste any time once she gets that ball and she's in the circle. She's ready to go.
This one popped up back to the circle. Testa under it, makes the grab, and there's one out.
It's going to be huge today for her to get ahead. It's a great way to bounce back right there from 3-0, but like James just said, literally the other game, just every count was an 0-2. Just first pitch strike, forcing the hitters to have to defend with 2 strikes, and hopefully she can continue that today.
Called strike one over the outside corner. Swing and a miss, and Testa quickly up 0-2.
Talk about how she gets ahead of every hitter. Another 0-2 count for Testa.
This one popped up, foul out of play.
Not a bad day for a game today.
It's beautiful. It's going to be hot tomorrow as well.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Quick 2 outs for the Green Wave in the top of the first inning. 80 degrees, sunny. Not a ton of wind. A nice slight breeze coming into our backs.
Maybe keep the ball in the park a little bit today. The wind not blowing out. Definitely some pitcher's weather.
First lefty Testa will face. Quick flare back to the circle. And the Wahconah Warriors go 1-2-3 in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, no errors. None left on. The Green Wave come to bat, and Henry, they did some damage in their first at bat on Monday evening. 5 runs in the bottom of the first.
They sure did. It's key for them to get ahead early here. This Wahconah team is very good, and they can't underestimate them. They can't let them into this game, so it's going to be huge for them to get ahead early and play clean defense along with to help Elsie Testa out on the mound.
Green Wave lineup will be led off by Brenna Howley. Riley Agnew will bat second. Maddie McDonald will be followed by Malia Goldberg, who's batting cleanup. Savvy Erickson will step in 5th, followed by Testa. Ella Franey will bat 7th. Olivia Dombra, the designated player, will bat 8th. And Kat Chipman will bat 9th. They will face the Wahconah defense. Harper Kay is in the circle. Doing the catching for her is Kennedy Arnold. At first base is Gracie Farley. Second base is Sydney Payson. The shortstop is Sammy Cayley. The third baseman, Mariah Barnes. Outfield left to right, Aaliyah DePietro, Maddie McCarthy, and York Collins is in right. Here is Brenna Howley, the future Southern New Hampshire penman. Conference rival of Henry's St. Mike's Purple Knights.
What is their logo? The penman?
The penman.
It's a Revolutionary War person, I believe.
I like it, an original logo. I like
something different.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
like
hear
schools.
that all the time.
I like schools that use different ones. You know.
Like the Jayhawks.
Well, yeah, in a world of tigers and wildcats, there's only one Jayhawk. That's a real slogan that's used. But I'm a fan.
There's 2 Purple Knights in the Northeast 10.
Is there? What are you talking about?
Bridgeport.
Oh, they're not in there. Or they might be in there for some sports. They used to be in there.
They might have jumped to the ECC, but I thought they were still NE10.
I have heard of that school. I did not know that they were the same mascot.
Just to round out the college experience of the broadcast crew, there's only 2 Division I Skyhawks, the other being the University of Tennessee at Martin to go along with Stonehill College.
How about that for a trivia question, Mad Dog?
Sports information. I think there's only 1 Crusaders, too. I know there's a number of Holy Cross alums in attendance today, including Athletic Director Peter Serino standing just to our right. Howley starts it off with a walk. Green Wave's first base runner on, and Henry talk about the importance, no matter how they get on, the leadoff batter in the first inning setting the tone and getting on base.
For sure, and especially with a runner like Howley here, it should be interesting to see if she gets put in motion to get in scoring position. Obviously not too familiar with Wahconah's catcher and how strong her arm is, but it'll be key here to see if they can move her over at least.
The dropped strike and the
go.
throw down not in time. Howley stands on second.
And we talk about getting on base, and I think the player that did it best maybe on Monday night was Riley Agnew, who's at the dish right now. She had a bunt single. She had a single to left field. She drew a couple walks. She did just about everything on the offensive side of the game for the Green Wave that really willed them to a 9-0 victory.
See if she lays one down here.
She does square and has to back off the up and in pitch.
This team does bunt a lot, but bunting does cause a lot of chaos.
I think that's how they like it. They caused a lot of chaos on
They
Monday.
did on Monday.
And Kat
sure.
Shipman started she started a rally and ended one with a 2-run single. So
Yep.
Kat Shipman was one of the unsung heroes as well.
3-0 as that one comes in over Agnew's head. Already an early situation you're looking at. You don't want the real heart of the Green Wave order to be coming up with 2 runners on and no outs, and now runners on the corners as another dropped pitch by the catcher puts Howley on third. Agnew takes the walk and now stands on first. And already a meeting at the mound for Wahconah Regional. So Wahconah, the regional high school located in Dalton, Massachusetts. That's just south of Pittsfield, which you guys are familiar with out west, right on the New York border. Green Wave traveled out there a couple of years ago. That game was on a Saturday, but the Warriors did have to leave school a little bit early today. They left at 10 a.m.
They got here early today as well.
to get here. And that's one of the most talked about topics with the MIAA's new statewide playoff format that's now a handful of years old, is these kids are missing school and class time to travel God only knows where on a Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon in this case to face the second round opponent.
It's not ideal at all. And we fell into that last year, and a lot of teams do. It's really not fun for.
Bunt drop down. The play at the plate, not in time. And now headed for third is Agnew, and she is tagged out. So the Green Wave take the lead with Howley at the plate. And
a great
it
bump
is
there.
a fielder's choice for McDonald.
And that's what the Green Wave did on Monday, laying down bunts, making the defense make plays, putting pressure on the other team. And it was a great, almost perfectly placed bunt, and the pitcher made a nice play on it. But Howley's speed from third, just a little too much for her.
The catcher almost looked like she thought it was a force play, didn't
Yeah.
apply the tag until Holly was already sliding right between her legs to grab the plate.
I'm not sure what they're discussing here. I feel like she was pretty clearly
Maybe she
safe.
missed, unless they're arguing she missed home.
Yeah.
I mean, but that wouldn't you really argue. You just appeal. But yeah, we were talking about the distance from Wahconah to here. I'll never forget a few years back when Monument Mountain was hosting the Nantucket Whalers in like a lacrosse tournament game. I think it was a 12-hour round trip. They left at 6 a.m. on an afternoon day, and it was just a complete mess. There was a lot of discourse about it online. It's nice tailor-made fielder's choice, the second out, but there's a lot of discourse online about the new format and whatnot, but it's the new reality in the MIAA high school sports.
Yeah, it's an interesting format. My freshman year, we had the sectionals, and that was actually a lot better because you're playing teams that are around your town, and it's a lot more fun because you know those teams very well.
Wait, because we ended up hosting Coasset in the South
Exactly,
Section
and
final.
it creates those rivalries too, between the teams that you're already familiar with, and then obviously, then you branch out and you play teams that you might not be as familiar with. But I think that's a much better setup rather than having the, your first round you're traveling 3 hours.
Back-to-back fouls for Savvy Erickson. She finds herself down. No balls, 2 strikes with now 2 outs. Runner on first is Malia Goldberg. Back-to-back fielder's choices. Harper K throwing all right so far. Ground ball to second. Should end the inning. It does. But Brenna Howley, with good awareness, scores from third to score the game's first run. Abington leads 1-0 as we head to the top of the second.
We've talked about, obviously hitting the ball well and getting big hits off the fence and the gaps, but I think that's probably to win games, because obviously sometimes your hitting won't travel. That's just how sports work. Sometimes you don't have your best stuff. But having the ability like that we saw in the first inning, manufacturing a run without a hit, you saw Brenna Howley draw a walk, then she stole second, Agnew laid one down, and then another bunt scored Howley. So just having the ability to play small ball, don't rely on a big hit, don't rely on a big fly, and just manufacture that run. And we talked about it with LT Testa on the mound or in the circle. One run feels like it could be enough. Obviously, the Green Wave will want to score more than just one run, but the way LC Testa has been throwing the ball all season long, you feel confident with just putting that first run across the plate.
That would have been a big difference in this matchup 3 years ago, where it was a 0-0 tie going into the 7th and final inning. And you got that same feeling that one run could be the difference.
And little did you know, that was only the beginning of the story.
That was only
Doug.
When the game ended, we were only halfway done with the day.
So you're on the bus, correct?
I was on the bus. Myself along with Coach Jenna Olam were the only 2 adults on that bus. There was a caravan of dedicated parents behind us.
When it hit the bridge, was it like a big thump, or did you know you crashed? Did you know you were stuck?
It wasn't like we were going 50 miles an hour and hit the bridge. It was an 11-foot bus, 11-foot bridge. So the bus driver looks at it. He deflated the tires a little bit on the coach buses. You can do that. To get the entry door lower a little bit. So he gets about halfway under the bridge, didn't realize there was a slight incline when you got halfway through, and that's when he got kind of wedged in. So we heard a little scraping sound. He goes, I think I just hit the bridge. Pop fly foul makes it 0-2 to Marley Arnold, who leads off the inning for Wahconah. So he's able, after maybe 5 minutes of trying to figure out what we should be trying to do here, able to wedge himself out. By that point, a Dalton police officer shows up, gets on the bus, and says, you hit the bridge. This is now an active crime scene. Nobody gets off the bus. And with a bunch of high school athletes who Pop fly to right field, Agnew under it, and she will make the catch for the first out of the inning. So that caused a lot of tension with the athletes on the bus who were already very emotional. Fully understandable. The officer goes back to her car a few minutes later. Everybody abandoned ship into the large field next to the road. So then we made the decision to send the bus back to Abington High empty. It was sitting there for about a half hour dealing with all the repercussions of getting into an accident, which is what it was. It was a car accident. So we packed all the players into the few parents' cars that made the trip out there, including myself and the ACAM intern, Wayne Mounts, at the time. And we put all of the gear, all the camera gear, all the bats, the gloves, the cleats, everything in the empty bus for it to drive back on Founders Day weekend to Abington High School.
That is a
big shout out to the Perrys who ferried myself and Mr. Mounts back to Abington, along with Ava DiPietro's mom, who was stuck in the backseat of the pickup truck between the two of us. Another pop fly, and there's quickly 2 away here.
So moral of the story is that Mad Dog Matt Nelson is happy that the Green Wave are not traveling to Wahconah today.
Yes. He honestly probably wouldn't have traveled. He probably would have stayed home.
PTSD.
So that was the first ever team bus ride that I went on.
Yeah, because you guys usually take your own car, right?
Usually it's close enough.
You took your own car to Pittsfield, correct?
I did.
So yeah,
I did.
You learned your lesson from the first time.
I'm afraid to take my own car that far out, the Blue Bomber, because one of these days it's not coming home with me. It's gonna fall apart on the way out west.
Mariah Barnes, the Warrior, at the plate. Nobody on, 2 outs in the top of the second inning. Fouls this one off the fence.
You can already tell Wahconah's putting together, I'd say, much more competitive at-bats than we saw on Monday night, and that just comes with advancing in the tournament. We talked about it. The farther you advance, the harder it gets, and Elsie Testa is going to have her biggest test of the season, and so far she's answered the bell in the first 2 innings.
Another pop fly foul. Wahconah learning a couple of lessons about driving in eastern Massachusetts on their way here. I was talking to a couple of parents before this game started, and they said, so we hit Route 3, and we had about 5 miles to go, and the GPS said 45 minutes. And I said, welcome to eastern Massachusetts.
They learned quickly that eastern Massachusetts actually has the best drivers in the world. If anyone from home is watching and not from eastern Massachusetts, you guys are really missing out on life on the roads over here. Well, west, you can just go miles and miles and
not see
20
anything.
Minutes. And in 20 minutes, you won't see a thing, and then all of a sudden, you've moved 30 miles. It's the same way out in Kansas. Once you get driving western Kansas, just nothing.
This one just misses outside, evens the count at 2-2.
It's a great at-bat here.
You got to love the pace. We talk about the pace with Elsie Testa, but as soon as the batter's in the box ready to go, Testa's already in her wind-up ready to fire. It just keeps the field engaged, the fans engaged, us engaged, everyone engaged. You just got to love the way she works in the circle.
Another swinging foul. Still 2-2. That one misses high. Loads the count.
Both players just not giving in here.
Yeah, really well at bat here.
Talked about the competitive at-bats we've seen. Only 6 batters in for the Wahconah, but much better at-bats compared to Monday.
Hard grounder gets through third base, and that's the first hit of the day. First base runner for Wahconah Regional.
That would have been almost a 10-pitch at-bat right there. She was down 0-2 and battled all the way back.
That'll bring up Collins, the right fielder. Looks at ball one. McDonald wants to know where that one missed.
That one looked pretty good to me.
first year of that statewide format going back to football season. I think it was Pittsfield High, and their first round matchup was Nantucket.
Yeah.
You couldn't get further away than those two places. Plus, you throw a ferry into the equation.
So Pittsfield had to go to Nantucket?
Pittsfield had to go to Nantucket.
I want to say
they lost, but if they won, they would have had to drive back to face Hull the next week.
Oh.
I want to say they had to travel 3 states, I think I saw. Drive through Connecticut and Rhode Island to get to the Cape at that point, and then get on. Then you have to get on the ferry, which is full of its own, fun experiences. I've heard some funny ferry stories. The basketball team not too long ago traveled over to Martha's Vineyard, talk about sickness at the sea and whatnot.
Pop fly right side.
It's a great play right there by Savvy Erickson.
Seemed like a little miscommunication there, but Erickson taking charge. She had the way better angle. The first baseman lost her footing as well, and Erickson just camps under it. Nice play to get out of the inning.
It's huge out there, especially with that 2-out walk. You never know what can happen with a 2-out walk.
Yeah, because they made it hard on her that whole inning, right? They had the 12-pitch at-bat. The first 2 at-bats were long, and then just working around some very quality at-bats from the Warriors.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left stranded for Wahconah. They still trail 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second. We will see Elsie Testa lead off, followed by Ella Franey and Olivia Dombra, the designated player for the Green Wave. Back in the circle for Wahconah is Harper Kay. Green Wave softball team was surprised with a couple of loaves of Bill Marquardt's homemade bread before this game.
They got it?
They got it.
That's
very excited.
That's always nice when you get some free bread.
I'll tell you what, the bread's good luck
some
too.
Sourdough
in the playoffs.
bread, right?
It was sun-dried tomato Parmesan bread. It was phenomenal.
Sounds really good.
It's good luck in the playoffs too. I mean, we had the magic of the lucky loaf of bread before in the playoffs, so never hurts to get your carbs in. Stay hydrated.
Ground ball to first, and there's quickly 1 away.
Not sure you could ask for a more perfect day.
It's not too hot.
It is beautiful.
Got a nice little breeze coming into it.
And with the rain we've had, you never know with playoff games getting pushed back. I mean, we saw the game Monday that was supposed to be Sunday and then got pushed back due to rain. Just happy we have a perfect weather day for it. Not too hot, not too cold, clear skies.
It'll be interesting to see what happens the rest of the week because it's not looking too good. A lot of rain coming in.
Seems like every weekend. It seems like it's
Friday, Saturday.
Nice all week, and then come weekend time in the middle of June, you can't get a sunny day.
That's probably when the game is going to be too, Friday or Saturday. So
hopefully they can luck out with some weather, just get the game in, and hopefully advance out of day first, and then keep the train moving.
Winner of this game will take on Uxbridge, who already wrapped up their berth in the round of 8. Swing and a miss makes it 1-2 to Ella Franey, the left fielder for Abington.
I feel like you see Uxbridge's names atop of a lot of brackets in a lot of different sports. So just
They do.
quality athletics over there. Hopefully the Green Wave can have a date with them this weekend.
A couple towns up there that find themselves atop the rankings in a number of sports. Northbridge, which you guys were familiar with, that marathon game up in Lowell.
feels like we're familiar with every single team at this point.
That's where we had the magic of the sourdough bread.
We did have the bread.
Cullen Crocker ate like a loaf of bread on his own and then had the game-winning RBI sac fly.
That was big. Very big.
Oh, yeah, by the way, you know Cullen pretty well. He still talks about it, so he's never going to give that one up. So rightfully so.
Defining moment.
That's all right with me. We got out of there maybe 6 hours earlier than we could have.
Remains one of the wildest games I've ever witnessed. And it was like there wasn't a lot that happened.
There's a lot of
Because the pitchers through
pop
7. There
outs.
was 2 hits through 7 innings
pop outs and
combined.
strikeouts.
I remember the two teams coming on after, like, can you guys please just score a run? We want to play tonight. That's playoff baseball, right? Hopefully we can have a thriller like that today here. Maybe not 14 innings, but back and forth battle. Never hurt anybody.
Pitch from Kay misses upstairs, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's 2 good takes in a row from D'Amber there. Just not giving in with 2 strikes. Working the count back.
Both teams making it hard on the opposing pitchers, working the counts, not chasing out of the zone.
Ground ball foul down the right side.
Did you guys happen to catch the Red Sox score before you left for the game?
I was listening to it on the WEI network, and what a thriller, I guess.
I don't even know what's going on in the game at this point.
It's 9-9 and heading to the 9th.
Okay, all right.
I just saw the most normal Red Sox game ever.
Last I saw, they were down by like 6 runs, so I just
And then they scored in the bottom of the first. They came all the way back just to give it back.
Scored 5 in the bottom of the first.
It was 7-7 last time I saw it. I was like, this game is going to keep getting worse, probably.
I was in traffic up in Braintree just listening to it, and I was like, what is going on at Fenway Park today?
It's a really good at-bat right there. 2 outs, getting a runner on base is huge.
Hard-fought walk for Olivia Dombra.
Every pitcher will tell you their least favorite thing in the world. Give up a 2-out base hit, give up a 2-out gap shot. Nothing worse than a 2-out walk. Let's see if the Green Wave can come back and have it bite them.
Here's Kat Chipman, the third baseman. Her first at bat against Kay.
We said the player of the game on Monday with
Honestly,
her performance on Monday night.
Be key here to get on base to get back to the top of the order here.
Stay hot at the plate.
Anything can happen with 2 outs.
Ground ball back to the circle. Spinning play, but the throw beats Chipman to first, and that will retire the side. The Green Wave strand a base runner, and they will see the top of the order in their half of the 3rd inning. And
looks like they're trying to appeal possibly that she
conversation.
was off the base. Guess not.
Green Wave
Looks like an
not
out to
like
me.
they're going to win the argument, so we'll head to the top of the 3rd. McCarthy, Payson, and Kaylee due up as we will cycle through the Warriors order for the 2nd time.
That was a really nice play by the pitcher there, especially on the left side.
Yeah.
Coming with a lefty.
Nice
Tough
little
play.
play. Flip your body around. Get the out at first. Well, I was going to say that, but I wasn't entirely sure.
Testa back in the circle for her 3rd inning of work. This game about a half hour old. We're already into the 3rd inning. Abington has that 1-0 lead. Brenna Howley scoring from 3rd in the 1st inning.
Be interested to see how the top of the order comes back through here again. See what their adjustments are against Testa.
Get a second look at her for the first time, and I feel like Testa did better with the second half, the second time through the order on Monday than she.
As the game got longer, she did.
Because late in the game she had that period where she struck out 8 in a row. I think she got obviously got up to 17 strikeouts, but just an unbelievable performance we saw on Monday. We were saying video game numbers from Elsie Testa.
it was pretty insane.
But the crazy thing about her is it didn't surprise anyone. That's just what she's done for years for the Green Wave.
It is typical. But as we've said, as you get further along in the tournament, the matchups are going to get harder, the teams are going to get better, and this Wahconah team is a team that we cannot sleep on.
Rise ball misses well upstairs. A ball and 2 strikes to the number 8 hitter, Maddie McCarthy. 8-9-1 due up for Wahconah. Here's a little flare to short. Howley ranging back, able to reach up and make the over-the-shoulder grab. There's one away.
Those are the plays that come back to bite you if you don't get it. Those little bloop singles and no man's land. But Brenna Howley read that like a book off the bat. made it look like a routine play and gets the big first out with the top of the lineup set to come up this inning.
Howley cleaning up at the end of year athletic awards for Abington High School. Took home, I don't even know how many, but it seemed like every athlete of the year award for whatever category. Here's another liner to the Green Wave shortstop. There's 2 away.
I think she got 3.
Ball's finding her today, too. Scored the first run of the game. Back-to-back outs at short.
Here is the top of the order. Sammy Cayley lined out to Testa to start the first inning. Sends this one to deep left field, foul territory into the trees.
We were talking about it last game, how there's just not a lot of space and foul ground, like, at all on either side of the field. It's tough to make those plays in foul territory.
Green Wave are fortunate that one's hooked a little left and got out of play. Wahconah put some good contact on the ball this inning.
Popped up towards Erickson at second. Under it and makes the catch. A quick 1-2-3 inning for the Green Wave. And they will see their top of the order come up in this half of the inning. Howley, Agnew, and Maddie McDonald for the Green Wave.
After a somewhat long second inning, how about a 6-pitch a third inning to get out of?
Gotta love it.
We saw some long counts. We saw that 12-pitch 3-2 count that ended in a base hit, and LC Test answers right back, goes 1-2-3 on just 6 pitches, and back in the dugout, the Green Wave looking to add some more runs to get some more insurance.
Let's dive a little deeper into Monday. You guys must have been happy seeing 2 high schools that I know you're familiar with everybody at this point, but specifically Manchester Essex falling to the Green Wave softball team. Advanced Math and Sciences falling to the boys lacrosse team, who's in action a little bit later tonight up in
Ashburnham against Oakmont. Another school, funny enough, you see in a lot of brackets doing well in a lot of different sports. I know they have a very good baseball program up there, but a lot of, you see a lot of this. I feel like every school, there's just some schools that are good at everything athletically. I'd like to think we are here, and we just always run into these schools. That's why we're seeing so many schools we're familiar with, because the deeper you go, you start seeing the same teams and the same people and same kids every year. So that's why we've seen Manchester Essex, Advanced Math and Science, Wahconah, now softball, seeing them again after a heartbreaking defeat a couple years back. Talk about how there's so many different teams in your bracket and in your division, but I feel like you end up playing the same teams every year anyway.
You gotta do.
When you play 25, 26, 27 games every single year, you're going to run into teams more than once every couple of years.
And that builds those rivalries too, especially in the playoffs.
Howley walked and scored the game's only run back in the first inning. She's quickly ahead in her count, 2 balls, no strikes. Check swing, that one misses inside, 3-0.
It's great to see the Green Wave just staying patient here in the third inning, making the pitcher work, waiting for their pitches to attack on.
The 3-0, Howley squares the bunt, pulls back, gets up and in a 4-pitch walk as she's on the board for the second time.
Starting the third inning just like she started the first, a 4-pitch walk, and hopefully you can get similar fortunes. She can get around the bases and come home to score another run for the Green Wave.
I would bet she'll be taken off here, or there'll be a bunt to get her to second base. One of the two.
And we know how aggressive the Green Wave are on the bases.
There it is.
Bunt drop down. Spinning throw to first is low. It gets through. Howley's going to head for third. Agnew to second on the throwing error by the pitcher.
Just causing chaos again, just like on Monday, laying down bunts and force the defense to make tough plays.
It's all about just putting in play and putting pressure on the defense, and I think that was Manchester Essex's biggest problem on Mondays. They just couldn't put the ball in play. And like I said, LC Test had 17 Ks, so Riley Agnew doing a good job laying one down and just forcing the defense to make a mistake, and that's what she did.
Now big time jam for Wahconah here. No outs. Runners on second and third for the number 3 hitter in the Green Wave lineup, Maddie McDonald, who reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning.
She did lay down a bunt last time, so I would not put it past them. But I think here in this scenario, you got to let her swing.
Second and third, no outs.
Such a great hitter.
I'm giving her the green light here.
Chopper to second. In and out of the glove, and then the hand. They're safe all around. Howley scores for the second time. Runners on the corners. It's 2-0 Abington.
Just a great job. They're getting up the middle. Any ball up the middle there is going to score a run regardless, so that's just a great job by McDonald putting the ball in play.
Back-to-back errors for Wahconah. You mentioned, as we talk to coaches more and more before these games, everyone's going to tell you the same thing. You have to capitalize on the mistakes the other team's going to make, because the only team that can beat your team as we get deeper and deeper into the playoffs is yourself.
Yeah, and so that's just really the name of the game. It's always about who can make the least mistakes. And we talked about how the Green Wave, they've played good defense all tournament long. Obviously, they didn't have to play much defense on Monday night. But here, Wahconah's putting the ball in play. They're putting together good at-bats. We saw Howley with a couple good plays, Erickson with a nice play. So the Green Wave are just steering clear of those mistakes so far. And I don't want to be that guy that jinxes it, because we all know how
Don't
that
say
goes
it,
over
that if
here.
you don't want to jinx it.
But yeah, the Green Wave are just doing their best and doing a very good job so far of just staying out of their own way, making plays, and then just making stuff happen on the offensive side of the game, and that's what they've done. And Brenna Howley now has started 2 different rallies, both coming around to score and giving the Green Wave a 2-0 lead.
So the infield is in here. In baseball, we'd say they're on the grass, but in softball, the baselines are only 60 feet long, so they're about 35, 40 feet from the plate. They're going to be seeing some balls come flying at them.
Sure are, especially with your 4-hitter up here. With your third baseman playing in pretty close as well. But Agnew's got great speed on third base. I would feel pretty confident to say any ball in the hitting the infield, she's going to score besides maybe the pitcher.
But you also now run the risk of giving up a blooper right over the infielders' heads.
Yep, and that's probably
And that
2
could
runs.
do a lot of damage.
And those ones drive you crazy as a pitcher, too. You make a good pitch, not that great of contact, and same result.
Ball 1 to Amelia Goldberg. 1 ball, 2 strikes to her. She also reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. Sends this one into right field. A blooper right over the second baseman's head.
Great piece of hitting right there.
Gotta take you to Vegas, Mad Dog.
I know. McDonald stops at third. It's 3-0 Green Wave. Runners on the corners once again.
Yeah, I feel like regular depth, that's just the most routine play of all time, but infield in with no outs, and, you know, the Green Wave aren't complaining, played their third run of the game, and take even more command of this one.
Yeah, they got to keep the pressure on here. This Wahconah team last season, you saw, they put 3 balls in play. They might not have been hard contact, but they're not striking out. So I think they're going to be in this game. And, you know, the goal is here to just put up as many runs as possible to kind of put them into a hole that they can't get out of.
Steve Praxlis special, the small ball, the station to station, moving 1 base at a time, dropping down the bunts, however you got to move the runners over.
Yeah, they've done a great job today. It's early in the game, but, I mean, they've just been they say pass the torch to the next batter, and that's what they've been doing, just hit after hit, or just a productive at-bat after at-bat after at-bat. You got no outs here as well.
I feel like you see less bunting nowadays, too, so good to see the Green Wave are embracing the small ball mentality and take a lead because of it.
Here comes a bunt right here, it looks like.
I wonder if she'll pull back. She'll commit to it.
Low and away. Runner will take second uninhibited. Erickson swinging away this time, fouls it off over the backstop. Erickson 0 for 1. She grounded to second to end the first inning. Fouls this one off again. The other thing about this Green Wave lineup that we notice is there's not a lot of empty strikes. There's not a lot of called strikes that you'll see from the opposing pitchers. A lot of foul balls, a lot of swinging strikes. The Green Wave like to be aggressive at the dish.
Yeah, and I love it. I love aggressive, being aggressive at the plate, not being afraid to fall behind in the count because, you swing and miss, you foul it off. You see a lot of players that'll try and take balls, try and get ahead, but the Green Wave are confident in their abilities to hit with 2 strikes, hit deep in counts, and are aggressive at the plate, and I love it. I love just swinging as much as you can because that's what the game's for.
Erickson, chopper to second, handled cleanly. The throw home, not in time. Under the tag goes McDonald. It's 4-0 Green Wave. And another fielder's choice results in runners on the corners for a 3rd time this game.
Bang, bang play there, but the Green Wave
Beat it out.
Another run, yeah. Showing off that speed, showing off just the ability to do little things. You know that you got runners on second and third, no outs. You need to put a ball in play. How about a ground ball to the right side to score it?
Yep, they've been doing that. They've done that twice in a row now.
Doing just the little things that win you games that coaches love, and it's worked out well for them today and all week long, going back to Monday night.
Green Wave pitcher up and another stolen base.
It's interesting. They've had the same game plan the last, 4 batters, and it seems like Wahconah isn't feeling like adjusting. Like, I feel like there either you want to try and shoot the runner there, or you got to move in your defense maybe a little bit more on a ground ball.
Bunt sent foul down the first base line. So here's the situation. The first 3 batters of the inning have now crossed the plate. There's no outs, and we're now seeing the 6th Abington hitter of the bottom of the 3rd inning with runners in scoring position.
We saw innings like that. They had 2 really big innings on Monday, and just the Green Wave, when they score, it comes in bunches.
Sure does.
And having another, instance of that, still no outs, and the Green Wave looking to just keep adding on runs and making it less stressful and taking the pressure off of their star pitcher, Elsie Testa.
2-1 the count to Testa, who's trying to help her own cause, knocking a couple more. Sends this one fouled over the right field fence. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Testa chopper to short. The throw to first is in time, and now home is going to be wild. 5-0 Abington on the sacrifice grounder. Also moves Erickson up to third base.
It's just another great job. They're just putting the ball in play and forcing the defense to make plays.
If you're a Wahconah there, you absolutely have to get at least 1 out of that. So that's the correct move, going to first. You sacrifice the run.
Yeah, you can't just keep putting runners on first and third with no outs, and then eventually runner will steal second, and then you're just back
in the same situation.
Back where you were, second and third, no outs. So just take it out and hopefully get out of this inning, allowing just the 4 runs and maybe allowing just 5, but hopefully get out of this inning. Because 5-run lead is definitely doable. I mean,
there's still plenty of game left.
You just got to stop the bleeding.
And we're going to have an early pitching change for the Warriors.
Another lefty coming in.
Kay comes out. The new Wahconah pitcher is number 17, Marley Arnold. Arnold was the designated player, so we'll see if the lineup remains the same, or everybody might just get bumped up 1, and Gracie Farley, who is the flex player at first base, might now end up hitting. Softball is a very intricate sport with the flex and designated player rules, the re-entering and all that.
It's very different. It's interesting, but there's a strategy to it.
So Kay not off the hook yet. She is responsible for Erickson at third. Was able to get 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Arnold will see the 7, 8, 9 hitters for her first 3. Ella Franey, Olivia Dombra, and Kat Chipman. First offering from Arnold is a swinging strike to Franey. 0-2. Best case scenario for Wahconah here would be to get 2 quick outs and get out of this without any further damage. That one misses just outside.
It's a really good pitch right there.
Yeah, I thought she got that one. That's the one you just want as a pitcher, especially in a jam like this, to stop the bleeding, get that much-needed second out, and get out of this jam.
It's good to see, though, Wahconah replaces a pitcher and she comes right, firing away.
Short pop up to third. Foul territory, falls just in front of the Green Wave dugout.
Green Wave just need to stay patient here, I think, to just try and figure out this new pitcher. And
Want to keep 17 centered in your frame, but also have the batter like that.
Another one. That one looked good, too.
Yeah.
Living in the zone, or just outside of it in this case, but
this ump's had a type zone all day, especially in the outside corner for righties. Hasn't called it for really either team.
but I love it. Not afraid to attack the zone coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, for sure.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. It is indeed a quick second out for Arnold. Your coaches from the dugout usually say something to the effect of, that's a very good miss. A chase pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Something that the batter's probably not going to get a lot of really good hard contact on, but is close enough to maybe be called a strike depending on the umpire.
I feel like when coaches are yelling good miss and love that pitch, I feel like that's directed at, sometimes not always
Sometimes
directed at the pitcher.
umpire.
Sometimes it is, yeah.
I really like that pitch.
Yeah.
And so she had 2 good pitches right there that were both called balls that I thought you could have got, that second out and that strikeout and got her to get her rung up. But, nonetheless, she worked through it and got a swinging strikeout, left it out of the hands of the umpire.
There's also a lot of times, especially right here, 0-2 count, you're not necessarily going to throw a ball right down the middle. You're looking for a chase here, especially with an aggressive Green Wave team.
Olivia Diambra walked her first time up. Fair ball falls right in front of the plate. A swinging bunt off the handle, and the side is retired. So Arnold comes in, able to get the Warriors out of the jam, but they're now chasing 5 as we head to the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, and all you can do now here is just chip away, and you got a tall task ahead of you with Elsie Testa. We talked about it on Monday at night, but entered Monday's game with a sub-1 ERA, which is, like we talked, just borderline absurd. So you just got to chip away, put together quality at bats. They've put some good contact on the ball, just right to some of the fielders. A couple balls that were hit well, right at Brenna Howley. A couple balls that just you felt like we're going to get down. They had the nice hit down the third base line, but other than that, there's not been a lot of offense. But that's just what we've seen with the Green Wave. They take, pride in their defense and their pitching. And 5 runs seems like a lot against LT Testa, but you just got to keep chipping away. Still got a lot of softball left to play. 12 outs to work with.
This is a key inning for Wahconah to make sure that they can respond back in a positive way, because there's still plenty of game left. You got to, like you said, chip away, get a couple of runs here. They're going to be okay.
Green Wave have, for years, had a pretty good stable of pitchers, going back to Shannon Varvitsiotis, the 4-year starting hurler for Jenna Olam's Green Wave, and now Elsie Testa kind of coming in as Varvitsiotis graduated and moved on to the next stage. Testa's come in, started for 3 years now, and been very, very effective for the Green Wave. Varvitsiotis was the starting pitcher the last time these 2 teams played each other 3 years ago. I think if memory serves, Testa might have been planted out in left field.
What a great play right there.
Talk about the defense getting it done
that
by
was
the Green
incredible.
Wave.
Reading that button, just running in, it comes right at you.
That was a reverse jinx by me. I said that I spoken into, happening. I said the Green Wave take pride in their defense, and look at that, a good defensive play.
That was a great play right there.
Another look is, any coach will tell you the object of a bunt is to get it down on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to a deflection in hockey, you want to make it so it's not readable. That one popped up, and it was the third baseman, Chipman, coming in and making the grab.
coming up big for the Green Wave again. Getting it done in every sense of the word is Kat Chipman.
Quick 3-0 count now to... This is Harper Kay, the pitcher who just came out, so she's going to now be the designated player. Kay popped back to test in the circle in the first inning, and she'll take a walk this time up. Just the second base runner for the Warriors today. That brings up the new pitcher, Marley Arnold. She flew out to right. Pops him up this time, back out of play behind the backstop.
Her coming in relief and what she did in that bottom of the third was big for Wahconah. Obviously, it was just one runner on, but that inning could have really spiraled out of control if she didn't shut down the Green Wave. But her ability to come in and just shut down, get 2 quick outs, and keep the lead at 5-0, really big for her squad.
This one popped a little oppo taco to short for Brenna Howley, ranging to her right, makes the grab for the second out.
It's great seeing Testa trusting her defense today, as opposed, not that she wasn't trusting it the other day, but, she was striking on everybody the other day, and today, she's letting Wahconah hit it and having the defense make the plays.
Yeah, 2 very different games for her, right?
Very
17 strikeouts on Monday and just pitching to contact today. Wahconah putting together some good at-bats at the plate as well. So credit to them, but just letting her defense make some plays, and that's what's happened this afternoon.
This one sent out to center. Riley Agnew under it. Makes the catch, and that will retire the side. The Wahconah Regional Warriors strand their second base runner of the day and come up empty in the top of the fourth. We head to the bottom half. Green Wave still lead it 5-0 here in the MIAA Division IV round of 16. Really could not ask for better softball weather than this. Starting to cool off just a little bit. Still very, very comfortable out here, about 75. Nice breeze coming in from right field towards home plate.
Finally starting to feel like June, I'd say, though. We haven't had severe.
Time.
We've been very unlucky with weather, and I've only been back for about 3 weeks.
Early into June, and we already have June weather. It's always nice to see.
Since I've been back, the weather has just been terrible. But yeah, it's fine. Good to have some good weather.
We'll see. Well, we'll see what the rest of the week has, because I'm not too confident that weather being too nice.
Yeah, it's supposed to get stormy again. Every Friday and Saturday, it seems like it's just going to rain for the rest of eternity. So,
when our executive producer Kevin Tachi told me that Dr. James Madden was going to be joining us for the call, my first question was, it's 80 and sunny. How are you going to pry him away from the side of the pool?
By just having my mom stop yelling at me. Actually, I haven't even been in the pool today, funny enough, and I hype myself up as the pool man. But I'll be in the pool later today when I get back. That's definitely gonna happen. My dog Jerry's waiting for me to get home, so me and him, we have fun in the pool together, me and him. So tomorrow will be a pool day though, Mad Dog. Mid-90s, I think I'm seeing. I don't know how true that is. So
bunt drop down, tough play at third. It's gonna be foul.
We lucked out that today's weather is today's weather, not tomorrow. Tomorrow would have been way too hot for us, because we don't have a lot of shade for those of you at home. Yeah, my skin isn't made for the sun. That's for
not a lot of shade out here in right center field.
I learned it the hard way during our trip to Aruba last summer. My skin and the sun are not friends.
This one sent to short softly. Close play at first. Dropped and in there safely is Chipman.
Another leadoff runner on. It's huge.
I want to say the leadoff runner's reached in all 4 innings.
Just I think
making stuff happen. Yeah. Good things are happening.
3 of the 4.
So the second inning was
the
1, 2, 3.
Second inning was
a quick one, I believe.
Grounder to first.
But yeah, 3 of today's 4 innings, the leadoff runner reaching base, and hopefully Green Wave can put some pressure on the defense like they did last inning, hang up a crooked number.
You can see what it led to.
Brenna Howley responsible for 2 of those leadoff runners aboard. She's going to try again here. An excellently placed bunt. And they are safe at first and second. Howley on the board, her first hit of the day.
It was a great bunt, just pushing up the first base line. It's kind of one of those plays where, either the first baseman's got to go at it or you need the pitcher to make a great play on it to flip it to first. See if we have another bunt here.
Riley Agnew has walked and reached on an error by the pitcher, drops down the bunt to the third baseman, picked up in foul territory.
Might be the first foul bunt all day by the Green Wave. Pretty much every first attempt they've gotten it down. They've all been pretty good bunts.
They've all been good. Straight into the ground, tough bounces, tough spins.
And they also are a lot of fast players, too, that are bunting, so that helps.
Called strike to Agnew, makes it 0-2. Pops this one back to Arnold. Has to charge in a little bit, but does make the grab for the out. Brings up McDonald, who has reached on a fielder's choice and an error. Gotten on the board both times. She has faced Warrior pitching. That one misses just high and inside for ball one.
Pretty good crowd here today too, right? Just great day for some softball, catch some playoff action.
Sure is.
A lot of Henry Rogers fans in attendance.
There's a lot of Henry Rogers fans everywhere, I've learned.
I guess so. The family is all here today. It's a beautiful day. Why won't you be down at the field supporting the Green Wave?
I was going to say, I think you were gifted a rock.
I was gifted two rocks.
2 rocks.
From my nephew.
A couple high fives.
Yep.
Grounder back to Arnold. She's going to spin and throw to first in time for the out. Runners all move up a station.
It's a beautiful day today. I'm sure there would be a couple more people here as well if lacrosse was playing home, but you got a whole crew of those people heading out to, what is it, Oakmont? Is that where they're going?
Oakmont, yeah, in Ashburnham.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a pretty far drive, so I'm sure a lot of people are going to be going out there to support, hopefully.
Have you guys ever met someone from Ashburnham?
I have not. Oh, what a play.
A blooper. Nice range over for Arnold. She'll clean it up herself, and for the first time, the Green Wave come up empty with 2 runners in scoring position. Just the second inning that they have not scored at all. They still lead it 5-0 as we head to the top half of the 5th. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Warriors coming up, starting off with Mariah Barnes, who is responsible for the only Wahconah hit of the day. She singled back in the second, her first time up.
Yeah, with the contact they've put on test today, you'd think they'd have more than just the one hit, and that was probably the best at-bat of the day amongst both teams, right? It was like a 12-pitch at-bat, fouled off a couple good 3-2 pitches, and then lined a single down the left field line for the only hit of the day for the Wahconah Warriors. Obviously, they had another runner reach on a walk back in the top of the 4th, but a lot of good contact and good at-bats, but really just not a lot of traffic for the Warriors. So LC Testa doing a nice job limiting the opportunities for Wahconah.
The defense has been great all day, just helping her out, making every single play. It's been a lot of pop flies, too, which honestly, those are nice and easy. You love to see those.
Yeah, a lot of contact right to fielders. Brenna Howley had one right to her. She made a nice play ranging up the middle as well. Savvy Erickson made a nice play up the first base line. But some balls hit in play, but, very routine play, so not, a lot of trouble for LC Testa in the Green Wave just yet.
Not just Henry Rogers fans in attendance, but I was talking to, as mentioned, one of the Wahconah parents who drove all the way out here. Her niece, I think, is the third baseman for the Warriors. Graduated Holy Cross with Sean Riley back in 1982 and said She's not only here to support her niece, but also to see fellow graduate who they still talk to a couple times a week back and forth. Very excited when she asked me if Sean was going to be in attendance, and I said, yeah, he's supposed to be announcing, but the game starts in 5 minutes. We don't see him yet.
I mean, it's a small world. It's pretty funny how things work out.
It is a small world, and it's crazy to think about the people you run into, right? How the luck of the draw.
The connections to everybody.
One game goes the other way, one game goes sideways, but now here we are playing Wahconah, and Mr. Riley friends with one of the family members, so it's just funny how everything works out.
Leadoff walk for Mariah Barnes.
Wahconah staying selective here. It's good to see for them. They got a long hole to climb out of, but it's going to take a couple runs at a time.
Idri Collins up for the Warriors now. First time they have gotten their leadoff hitter aboard. You can see Chipman expecting the bunt again. Corners playing in. This one flared right to Chipman.
Again.
She was expecting bunt, instead saw a short pop fly. Right in position to grab it, one away.
Lots of pop flies today. Regardless of how short far they've been hit, it's just been so many.
This one popped up, could be playable for McDonald, just gets over the fence.
Yeah, it's not the day for a fly ball either with the wind blowing in.
Yeah.
You know, the wind favoring the pitchers. But Elsie Testa not complaining. She'll keep the ball in the park as best she can, because we saw a good, well-hit fly ball to deep center field, but maybe, you know, on a day where it's blowing out, maybe it has a little extra juice on it, but
some heavy humid air too. The balls aren't really flying deep today. So we get ready for some thunderstorms later this week.
Oh, I'm sick of that word, thunderstorm.
Here's a pop-up. Howley under it. Shallow left center makes the play.
It's so funny how different this outing has been since the last outing.
Yeah, because I want to say she only has like 1 or 2 strikeouts. I think it was in the first inning.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just
that's
the
just
one
how it goes
strikeout.
sometimes. And Tessa's done a great job just throwing strikes.
Yeah, just the one strike on the first inning. Maybe she used all her strikeout stuff on Monday, but pitching a contact and it's working out for her.
It's working
well.
out. There really has not been much hard contact at all. Pretty
Now,
much
that
just
being
that.
said, you could have cleared the defense back in that first inning. 2 pop-outs to Testa in the circle, and the strikeout. She was responsible for all 3 putouts.
And then since then, it's been everyone else making the plays. I mean, obviously, she's still pounding the zone and getting ahead of hitters and putting herself in position to get outs, but using her defense much more than she needed on Monday.
10 fly balls, 4 line drives for Elsie Testa so far, along with the 1 strikeout. I think after Monday, the coaching staff told her, you've got 8 players standing behind you. They're all very capable of doing their jobs. You don't have to strike out 17 every single game.
Also, credit to Wahconah, though. They've been a lot of 2-strike counts, and they fought them off. So
Putting together some real quality at-bats, just unable to really break through offensively so far.
yeah.
Ball and 2 strikes now with 2 outs to Sydney Payson, who lined out to Howley at short. Her first time up. The 2-2. Popped up foul. Another 2-2, another foul off the fence.
There's been a lot of great at-bats by Wahconah today. They just can't seem to find the hard contact.
Just missed low and inside, moves the count full.
We saw a couple of those with the green wave hitting, and he felt like they could have given them their called third strike, but much tighter zone today than we saw on Monday.
It's been an interesting zone, to say the least, but for both teams.
Definitely been a hitter-friendly zone for both teams.
Yeah.
We saw the Green Wave benefited from a couple of those calls back in that big third inning, but sure, LC Testa, I think she liked the zone better on Monday. But
to the umpire's credit, it's been consistent with both teams at the plate as this one flared to Erickson at second. Throw to first is not in time. 2-out infield single for Payson.
looking like you put together a rally, and that's how it starts. Nice infield single.
Down
Extend
the
the
top
inning.
of the order.
If you're Wahconah, you're going to take that any day of the week.
And yeah, that's really what you can ask for of a 9-hitter with 2 away in the inning. Just extend the inning, get to the top of the lineup, and that's what she did. First and second for the leadoff hitter.
Sammy Cayley flies this one to left into a crowd of fans. She's 0 for 2.
She turned on one in the first inning that I thought had a chance maybe to get out of here, but just hooked a little
Hit the
foul.
tree.
Yeah, it came back and hit the trees and came back into play, but or in foul territory. But you know, we could see she has a little bit of power that bat. She just missed that one just out in front of it. So dangerous hitter at the dish for the Warriors.
She has popped back to Testa and popped to second. Gets a piece of this one to left. And the catch made there by Ella Franey to retire the side. And Wahconah comes up empty in the top of the 5th. We head to bottom 5. Green Wave still lead it 5-0 here at Carey Field, the round of 16. Winner of this game faces Uxbridge, another team that the Green Wave have not faced, but you typically see them up on the softball standings every year, the rankings. A matchup that, and any coach will tell you, we have to focus on what we can control, right? You have to, on what you can control, the plays in the field. Don't make the errors. Don't take empty at bats. At least go down swinging if you're going to strike out. Work the pitch count, etc., etc. And the Green Wave have excelled in that so far to this point in the season.
Yeah, and then just even through the first 5 innings today, I mean, Coach Olin will tell you they got the next 6 outs to worry about, and then you'll worry about what Uxbridge brings to the table, what you have on tap for this weekend. But the Green Wave, we talked about how LC Testa can be a shutdown pitcher. She can go out there, she can strike out 15, 16. Today, she only has that 1 strikeout. It's been the defense that has kept them in this game. No errors, really making some nice plays, but it's making the routine plays, right? It's those routine plays. If you boot a routine ground ball, boot a routine fly ball, that's what gives a team hope. That's what gives the opposing team life, especially a good team in the playoffs. So the Green Wave just keeping Wahconah out of it after that big 3rd inning, and LC Testa doing what she does. That's pound the zone and give her team a chance, and the Green Wave defense picking up for her.
Erickson, Testa, Franey due up here for the Green Wave in the bottom of the 5th. Erickson leans back from one that was up and in, ball 1. That was one of the large complaints with this matchup 3 years ago, is those Western Mass umpires were not very consistent in their strike zones for the two teams.
I think that game still has a bitter taste in Abington's mouth, so I think
It does.
they really want to win this game.
I feel like Abington's had such a young team the past 3 years that there were a lot of these players that were a part of that team.
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't know about the Wahconah roster given how long ago it was, but I feel like Abington's always really young.
Looks like Wahconah only has 1 senior according to the roster, so only one of those players would have been actually on the roster for that game.
Grounder goes through the 5-hole at second, and Erickson aboard.
Leadoff runner on, huge for the Green Wave to try and break this game open.
Third error of the day committed by Wahconah's defense. Second committed by the second baseman, Sydney Payson. Bunt dropped down, picked up by Arnold. Throw to first in time, moves the runner up.
It's a really good bunt right there.
Second sacrifice, the Testa's laid down.
Obviously, you'd like to get the bunt single, but the whole main point of a bunt is usually just to be a sacrifice. Moving the runner over into scoring position.
Ella Frady looking for her first hit. Strikeout victim twice so far today. Quickly down 0-2, both fouls off of the fence. This one popped up again, foul. Another hard fought at bat for the Green Wave. Swing and a miss, and the unfortunate hat trick for Ella Franey is her third strikeout. Olivia D'Ambra walked and had that swinging bunt that fell right in front of the plate. Looks at ball one up and in. Fouls this one off, evens the count 1-1.
Looks like it got her in the hand. But I believe she swung, so it's going to count as a strike.
She definitely swung at that.
She started to take off at first, so that thing rode inside pretty high and tight.
Set this one low and off the plate. A 2-1 from Marley Arnold. Swing and a miss. Arnold has looked very good in relief here.
She has.
Yeah, she came down and shut down the Green Wave offense in that third inning, the big third inning that could have spiraled out of control. And she's really given her team a chance to get back in it, and now it's just up to the offense to string together some good at-bats and start chipping away with 6 outs to play with.
Abington hasn't scored a run since Arnold took the circle. Full count here for Marley Arnold, the payoff pitch. A blooper, trouble at deep short. It's going to fall. Erickson's going to turn for home. The play at the plate. Not in time, under the tag, and the ball popped out at the last second. Looks like the catcher might have lost the glove, and now D'Ambra still going for it. Is going to hold it third. That's
almost as a
great base running awareness there by Olivia D'Ambra.
Almost a Little League home run there if that ball got away and she scored.
Yeah, everyone was kind of stuck in the mud trying to see where the ball was, see the play at home plate, and D'Ambra's like, well, if no one's going to pay attention to me, I'll keep running, I'll keep going. So
looks like when Erickson slid must have hit the glove hand of the catcher, and that's why it popped out. But I think if she held on to it, she probably would have been out at home.
Yeah, I want to say the throw had her.
The throw beat her.
The throw beat her. It was whether the tag was applied.
Yeah.
And then after the dust had settled,
the ball
was on the ground with the glove also off the hand of the catcher. That'll bring up Chipman.
It was a great slide, though, getting in there, and then obviously great awareness by Olivia D'Ambra just reading that play and taking advantage of it. Now you got another runner on third base here, another single here is going to score another run.
Canady Arnold is the Warriors catcher. Chipman fouls off the first offering she sees. So, Henry, this is the kind of broadcaster's curse that we were telling you about on Sunday, right as we had mentioned that the Green Wave haven't scored a run on the Wahconah relief pitcher. They score a run on the Wahconah relief pitcher.
It happens. It's tough, though, not to jinx stuff when you're just, talking about the game. It's hard.
You just got to tape our mouths shut at this point.
No more talking for us in the game.
We know all the viewers at home are all watching with us muted anyway, so.
I don't blame them, though, do you?
You can't. You can't. That's a favorite line of our football announcers here on ACAM, Sean Riley, Kevin Whalen. Swing and a miss, and the side retired. Green Wave come back with one more. They lead it 6-0 as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Wahconah needs to start putting some hits together, and they'll start it off with DePietro, Kay, and Arnold for the Warriors. This game now about an hour and 15 minutes long. Brainwave defensive look remains the same. Testa in the circle. This Greenwave team, young team as well. Brenna Howley being the only senior listed on the roster.
It's great, though, seeing with such a young team how composed they have been and just how clean they've played first 2 games this tournament.
Howley's older sister, an alum of this program, now playing college ball at UMass Boston.
The Beacons. Talk about a fun nickname, right? That's a
Beacons.
Original one.
There's a couple of NCAA Beacons, the only Division I one being Valparaiso.
On the spot, couldn't have told you that.
I don't even know. Where is that?
Valparaiso, Indiana. Northwest Indiana.
You did know. You knew where it was.
Yeah, I know the school. I just
Never
didn't
heard
know
of
the
that school
Beacons.
before.
Yeah, it's near
He
Michael.
knows their memorable runs in March Madness.
Well, it's
maybe
near
10 years ago.
It's near Michael Jackson country, Gary, Indiana. I think like 20 minutes from Gary, Indiana. So, the Jackson 5 now mentioned on the Abington Cam broadcast. But pay homage to the
One of
great.
these days, we're gonna make a bingo card of some of the random facts that might come up during a broadcast.
That's the beauty of it, though, right?
Someone just puts on the
We
game.
would have hit something during that 14-inning game in Lowell. Somebody would have won something.
Especially with Coach Woodford in the booth. There's never a dull conversation with Coach Woodford.
What did he say when we won the game? He said something
Egg
like,
rolls.
Egg rolls.
Egg rolls.
Time for egg rolls. Should have made that like a coined phrase, Mad Dog.
I remember he said that, and I was like, what?
Was it because you guys had egg rolls at some point that day, right?
So we didn't have egg rolls that day, but there was a plan in place after the game had it gone like a fairly normal length of time. So I worked in Lowell 2 years full time before I made the jump down here to Abington. And one of my go-to lunch spots was famous for like bacon cheeseburger egg rolls or crab rangoon egg rolls.
I love an egg
Just
roll.
stuffing egg rolls with anything creative, and they were really, really delicious.
I've been on a kick. The Chili's Southwestern egg rolls. Those have been like my go-to meal while at school.
You like Chili's a lot?
I love Chili's.
I love
it's like
Chili's.
that's like my
So
guilty
good.
pleasure restaurant. And the egg rolls from there are phenomenal.
Grounded to short. Nice stop by Howley. She's not going to have a chance at the throw. DePietro on.
It was a hard hit ball right there.
Just the second hit and the second time the leadoff batter has been aboard for Wahconah. That brings up the big lefty Harper K. 0 for 1, a fly out to the pitcher's mound and a walk back in the fourth. This one fouled just past the umpire, 0-2.
Wahconah really need to move this runner over here.
Chester trying to get Kay to chase the riser.
They've done a great job today holding off of those pitches.
Fly ball right center field. Agnew under it. Makes the catch. No tag.
Yeah, the Warriors have hit really well with 2 strikes, just putting the ball in play. Like we talked about, just that one strikeout, like the second batter of the game. And unafraid to hit with 2 strikes, put some good at-bats together, good contact on the ball. But another instance where the ball is just not carrying today. We saw a ball hit to deep left field earlier in the 5th inning that I thought might have had a shot, but just no carry in the air today. And it's really come back to bite the Warriors.
This one missing just up and into Marley Arnold. Two and 0. That last one was probably the hardest hit fair ball we've seen today.
We've seen some hard hit foul balls, just hook and foul. The leadoff hitters put some real nice swings on some balls, just getting too far out in front of it and hooking them foul. But some good at-bats today for the Warriors, just unable to break through offensively.
Foul ball popping just over the head of Matt Howley. He's one of the dedicated parents that made the trip out to Dalton 3 years ago. Like to reminisce anytime we see Matt come out here to right center field. This one hooks foul again.
Hit the dog. He's all right, though.
I think you wore that one.
I thought that was a bear.
He was just laying down, I think, just like snoozing, and the ball just kind of rolled up and it disrupted his sleep that he was having.
Too bad he didn't make a play on that one.
I know, he should have got up and caught it.
This one sent into left center, drops in front of Franey for a hit. Wahconah 2-1 with just the one out.
Good piece of hitting right there. They got to keep it going here. Put a couple runs across the board to give him a chance in the 7th.
Kennedy Arnold now, the catcher. 0 for 2, 2 flyouts, 1 to first base, 1 to center field. Not a lot better than playoff softball. I know a lot of people have been tuned into the Women's College World Series. You're going to see the first intrastate matchup in championship history, Texas Tech versus Texas.
Yeah, and it's just surreal not watching Oklahoma in it, right? I mean, the run Oklahoma's had.
It's refreshing.
They were looking to extend their what was an NCAA record, 4 straight NCAA titles. The first time Oklahoma's not going to be playing for a title since 2019, which feels like centuries ago due to everything that's happened in the world since 2019. But it's refreshing to see 2 new teams, Texas Tech, who has the Kennedy girl that's just been lights out.
The Red Raiders pitcher has been absolutely incredible.
Lights out. Before that 2-run home run she gave up in the 7th, I think she gave up 1 run in 21 innings.
That one's going to get thrown to left, and they're going to hold the runner at third.
So that'll be a fun NCAA title series. We'll see. I think it kicks off tonight. Texas Tech, nothing better. I know there's some fan bases down in the Lone Star State that are probably a little fired up for this weekend and who might come out on top. I know who I'm rooting for. That's the Red Raiders. The pitcher's just been unbelievable. Not only the tournament run, but all season long. She came to Kansas and threw like a 1-hitter, a no-hitter, then a perfect game in the weekend series. They didn't even reach third in the series. So, yeah, real good series we had over there. But rightfully so. Now they're in the NCAA title series. So, what a year she's had and what a year Texas Tech has had.
Longhorns and the Red Raiders. Meanwhile, on the baseball side, nobody predicted Vanderbilt getting knocked out, the national #1 seed, not making it to the regional final. The first team ever is the #1 national seed to not make it at least to their own regional final.
And the 2-seeded Longhorns out as well to the UTSA. That UTSA team is fun. Going out to UCLA this weekend. It'll be a fun weekend of sports.
How about Texas sports, Texas college sports?
They're legit.
Everything's bigger in Texas, Mad Dog.
The Roadrunners representing San Antonio.
They said they're not a Cinderella. They went like 50-11 this year. Just absurd numbers this year. Even Little Rock, they went like 8 games under 500 and were like 3 innings away from upsetting LSU and going to the Supers. I think they were 8th in their conference tournament, went on a nice little run. Crazy thing about sports is just go out there and just play the game, and who knows what can happen. And we've seen it in the MIAA tournament as well. 32 seeds beating 1 seeds.
Liner to Agnew. The runner's going to tag from third. The throw-in cut off. Wahconah finally breaks through in the top of the 6th. It's 6-1 Abington.
It's a great play by Agnew, just making the play and hitting the cut. No reason to try and shoot 4 there. You got big enough lead there to just play it safe.
You've got 4 outs to work with. You don't want to start throwing balls around the infield, giving them momentum, letting runners advance. Make the smart play in a 5-run game.
Wahconah's showing life though. They're not giving up.
Yeah, they've rallied together some traffic the past few innings. Had 2 runners on. They had loaded the bases this inning, drove 1 home, but LC Testa trying to work around the first real trouble of the tournament so far.
Here's an 0-2 count, James. I'm feeling it.
Another one?
Yeah.
Hopefully she gets that punch out.
Idri Collins 0 for 2. She is popped to the catcher and lined out to third.
Wahconah just really won't chase today. They're making Testa come at them.
That one is a called strike 3. Wahconah breaks through. LC Testa gets her 2nd strikeout of the day. The broadcaster's curse alive and well out here at Carey Field today.
3 outs to work with if you're LC Testa and the Green Wave. Just put them away in the top of the 7th. Still got, have to hit in the bottom half of the 6th. Then Wahconah, you got to be patient. I'd say take a strike, make her get it over the plate, but also don't fall too behind in counts because we know if you're not going to be aggressive at the plate, Testa will just keep pounding that zone and get as far ahead as she can, and then, like we saw there, ring you up. So 3 outs to play with if you're Wahconah, and 3 outs, left in your season. So I'd like to see maybe a little bit of a rally in the 7th and some fight from the Warriors.
Good news for the Warriors. They only have to see the Green Wave offense one more time. The bad news, it'll start off with the top of the order. Brenna Howley, Riley Agnew, Madison McDonald due up for Abington. And for Howley, she's reached base all 3 times she's seen the dish today.
Yeah, that's why she's in that leadoff spot. She comes through, whether it's leading off an inning, whether it's we saw on Monday with Chipman reaching base at the bottom of the lineup. She knows what her role is, whether it's she needs to start a rally, and we saw her in the 1st inning draw a walk, steal 2nd, get to 3rd on a bunt, and then score. And since then, it's been all Green Wave because of their leadoff hitter and their shortstop, Brenna Howley, who's also on the other side of the ball, played some very good defense for the Green Wave and just been that big leader that they've had not only today, not only Monday, but the past few seasons, and been, like we said, the only senior in this lineup. So using that to be the leader of this team and lead this offense.
She's been very selective today, too, out of that leadoff spot. Honestly, hasn't seen too many pitches to hit today.
She had her first 2 at-bats, I think, were 4 pitch walks.
Yeah, and then she had the bunt first pitch, I believe.
Bloops this one. Will spin foul. You can see Brenna kind of eager to put her bat to work.
Get swinging. She hasn't had a lot to swing at today, so ready to be aggressive at the plate.
1-1 the count to the senior captain.
Hit her in the elbow.
She 0 for 0 today. 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and a sack bunt.
Was it a no? She was safe at first.
So she had a hit on the bunt.
So I got
Okay.
the infield single there.
Okay.
1 for 1 with 2 walks and a hit by pitch.
Say,
And 2 runs scored.
Imagine 4 plate appearances in 6 innings, 0 for 0. Have a day.
I think that pitch before was the only pitch she swung at today. I'm not sure, though.
Hasn't had much to swing at
No, there hasn't.
in her defense.
And Agnew as well.
Takes off for second. She's going to beat that throw easily.
Feels like Agnew's also laid down a bunt pretty much every at bat because there's been a runner on base.
Now you got a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Another opportunity to add some insurance.
Yeah, if she can find some grass here, should be an easy run.
One misses just outside. Ball and a strike to Agnew, who walked in the first, reached on an error, and also popped out to the pitcher. Now it hit 2 balls, 1 strike. Grounded to short. Nice diving stop. No chance at a throw. Howley's going to stop at third. Runners on the corners once again for the Green Wave.
Thought she was going to have a play at third there maybe with Howley taking off, but just too far in the hole. She had to lay out for it and just unable to get up at times. So the Green Wave looking for another big inning, looking to hang up another crooked number.
That was a very nice play by the shortstop, though. Laying out there, keeping the infield, because if that ball gets by, Howley's scoring. We have that second and third that we've had a lot today.
Feels like we had second and third for like 6 straight batters back in the third inning.
So ball in play here will get a run in for sure if you can get it past the pitcher.
Howley and Agnew have been in this situation twice before in this game on second and third with each other. The first and third innings. One misses inside. 2-0 the count now to McDonald, who has reached on a fielder's choice and error. Also grounded to the pitcher. This one, a fly ball blooper into the right center gap. Will score Howley easily from third. The throw is overthrown. Could have scored Agnew from third, but she holds there. Runners on second and third.
Coach Ullum keeping it safe there, but definitely Agnew probably could have scored on that.
You don't want to run into that first out on the bases, but like you said, Henry, another second and third no out opportunity.
With the
same
cleanup hitter
situation.
I feel like we're just reliving the third inning.
I think Coach just wanted to have that second and third again. That's why she didn't send her.
It's been good luck for them.
It really has. I mean, it kind of puts the defense with their backs up against the wall because any ball that's in play is pretty much going to score that runner from third unless it's right back to the pitcher.
We've also got Malia Goldberg at the plate, the 4-hitter. She's singled twice and lined to the pitcher. Infield in again, the shortstop coming in, Sammy Cayley, to have a word with the pitcher, Marley Arnold. This one fouled off down the rare bit of grass in foul territory.
Down in like what's kind of like the camera well over there.
Yeah. And as it goes even further down, as an outfielder, you have no room to go for a ball in foul territory over there.
This one blooped into shallow center. It's going to score a run. Runners on the corners. 8-1 Green Wave.
Like the same exact hit we saw from McDonald. Just kind of a nice piece up the middle that the shortstop couldn't make a play on. Just too far in with the infield in and playing to cut down the runner at home. So
that's why you don't send the runner on the last play.
Exactly. So because you don't want to run into an out and make the first out at home plate. So why not trust your cleanup hitter to take care of driving in the run? And that's what she did.
Emma Hart's going to be the pinch runner at first base, replacing Goldberg.
Let's see if she takes off here for a steal to get that second and third again.
There she goes. The throw to short was 2 feet to the right at second base. An interesting,
maybe a little trick play. But I will say, the catcher got that down there pretty quick. That's why I'm a little surprised they didn't try to shoot any runners.
Yeah, I thought they were making a play on the
That was like a good throw.
second.
Grounded to third, throw in time. Runners hold. First out of the inning, here is Elsie Testa. She's laid down 2 sacrifices, grounded to first. Drops down another bunt, well placed down the first base line. The flip to first in time. Run scores.
This is a perfect
9-1 Green
bunt.
Wave.
How about the Green Wave offense? 9 runs in back-to-back games and a chance to add some more. You know, with Elsie Test on the mound, you're scoring 9 runs in games. That sounds like a recipe for success if I've ever heard one. So the Green Wave offense coming through because they know what their pitcher Elsie Testa will do. So just everything's been working in these first 2 tournament games for the Green Wave.
Pinch hitter for the Green Wave here. Looks like it's number 27, Avery Faulkner. Batting in place of Ella Freyna gets a piece of this one to left, right at the Wahconah left fielder, Leah DiPietro. And that will retire the side. Green Wave add a couple of insurance runs as we head to the top of the 7th. It's 9-1 Green Wave.
3 outs to work with if you're Wahconah. Down 8, you got to really put together some quality at-bats, be patient. You don't want to really swing at bad pitches. And they've done a good job at that, not chasing, putting together long at-bats, just unable to really come through in the clutch. You had that one run that scored in the top of the 6th, but other than that, it's just been Elsie Testa coming up big when the Green Wave have needed her most.
8-9-1 hitters due up for Wahconah. Henry, what do the Green Wave have to do to finish this one out? And if you're Wahconah, you kind of just going to take it one batter at a time.
For the Green Wave, I mean, you got a big enough cushion. You can afford to make mistakes, but your goal here is to just play as clean as possible. I think the big thing is just try not to make the big play, just make the smart play.
Always nice to see some fans in the press box here. The Green Wave baseball team coming through.
I'd just like to give a shout out to Brady Augusta.
I've seen
again.
I've seen too much of Ryan Solomini the past few days, so
That guy I can't stand.
I could do without him for a couple, but now good supporting their team, you know, in their school after a tough loss on Sunday.
The knee looks all right on Ryan.
He looks all right.
Looks fine.
Maybe Ryan will get in the broadcast booth one day. Maybe next season.
Nice day to catch a game. Not much to complain about. It's finally feeling like summer. Vibes are good. Green Wave up big.
First pitch swinging falls on the top of the fence, foul.
I think that hit like the last strand of metal to stay back in the field.
Yeah, not much room there for a player to make a play there. Obviously, that ball is pretty much unplayable, but still.
Archbridge took out West Bridgewater 13-1 to book their spot in the round of 16. They beat Pittsfield 4-2 yesterday. Manchester Essex was the Green Wave's first round competitor. They took a forfeit win over Foxborough Regional Charter. Still unsure why Foxborough Regional Charter forfeit their first round playoff matchup to the Hornets.
Was a very interesting thing, and they pushed off playing the game too, and it was kind of just a pain for everybody, I feel like.
The Hornets will take it, right? Take a win without even having to use up any steam.
Yeah.
Another fairly long ride it would have been. Manchester Essex up on the North Shore. Then the Hornets fell 9-0 to Abington. This one sent into right center field will be fielded by Agnew. Runners at first and second with no outs.
If you're Wahconah, you just got to try to keep extending the game. Don't just putting together quality at bats. Just extend it any way you can. Draw a walk, draw a hit by pitch, reach on an error. That time you drive a single up the middle. Just do whatever you can to extend the game and just extend your season because backs are against the wall with 3 outs to go.
Line drive gets past Howley, and then under the glove of Franey. It's going to score 2 Wahconah runs and a 2 RBI triple for Sammy Cayley.
I feel like she was due, right? She's hit the ball hard all over the ballpark all day. She had a couple hard hit balls down the line that hooked foul, but that one, she turned the barrel around on it and just lasered it into left field. And that one stayed fair, thankfully for her, because I feel like she's hit the ball so hard foul all game long, but finally coming through with an extra base hit.
Yeah, Wahconah's, I mean, that obviously probably would have been a single, but I mean, they're just showing signs of life still. And I mean, if you're the Green Wave, you just got to stay composed here because you still have a 6-run lead. You just got to get outs. 1 out at a time, that's all it is. Just got to make the easy play, take the out. Do not worry about that runner on third base. The runner does not matter at this point.
I feel like you press a little bit until you get that first out. There's still no outs. You see no outs on the scoreboard and a runner on third. Just get that first out and then take a deep breath, collect yourself, and in Elsie Testa's shoes, do what you've done all season long and just dominate the circle.
The 10th-seeded Warriors took out Littleton in their first-round matchup 6-4. Uxbridge, the number 2 seed, will host the next matchup as safe at home on the fielder's choice.
I think the big thing is there, you get the first out, though.
Yeah.
You get that number 1 out on the strikeout.
And you get the bases cleared now, too, so now there's no pressure at all.
No traffic, no distraction.
Honestly, I will take that. I would rather give up that run right there and get the out.
That's a risky play, though, I think.
It was risky by
runs.
Wahconah. I don't know. I don't know, though, but that's just me.
Hey, you look like a genius when you score, but if you get thrown out at home, then you start questioning things. But, 5-run game, if you're Wahconah, just keep extending that game, keep your season alive.
They got to start another rally now, though. They got no one on base, no pressure applied, so they gotta apply that pressure again.
To account to Harper K. Another walk earned.
This is a good mound visit here by Coach Olam. Just trying to calm the team down.
That'll bring up Marley Arnold, the cleanup hitter. Pitcher in relief of Harper K.
Done a nice job in relief today, too, in the circle. She got worked out of that big third inning, and kind of shut down the Green Wave offense until they put up a few in the 6th inning, which now looking back at it with the way Wahconah's come into the 7th inning, proved to be some pretty big insurance. But she's done a nice job keeping her team in it as best she can.
Similar story to 3 years ago. Scoreless coming into the 7th inning, and then Wahconah bats came alive. I think final score of that game was 2-0, 3-0, something like that. Strike 1 taken by Arnold.
Testa here has just got to throw strikes. Can't afford any more walks.
This one blooped. Erickson not going to be able to get
You're
there.
gonna play
The
it
flip to second.
That's a
is in
huge
time.
play right there. Wow.
Arnold reaches on what turns into a fielder's choice to center field.
That's brutal if you're the hitter. Your base hit just got taken away from you.
That's a tough break for the Warriors, right? It's kind of
It's really tough.
It's an in-between ball. Looks like it could be caught, but also looks like it could be a hit. You don't want to get doubled off in a 5-run game, but then Riley Agnew, she read it off the bat and made a nice play on the ball to get the second out of the inning.
The 8-6 put out.
The classic 8-6.
See that one every day.
That's just a good job by the Green Wave. Staying composed and just reading the field and knowing what to do with the ball when you get it. And now a lot of the pressure is taken off. Now you got 2 outs. Just got to get 1 more out.
Called strike low in the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now to Kennedy Arnold. She pops one towards Agnew, drifting in, makes the grab, and this one has come to an end. The Green Wave get a little bit of vengeance on Wahconah and finish off the Warriors season, defeating them 9-4 here at Carey Field in Abington. They'll move on to face the number 2 seeded Uxbridge team. Date and time TBD, a lot of weather between now and then, but guys, let's wrap up this one. James, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Wahconah just couldn't really overcome that big second inning and that big third inning. Obviously, the Green Wave played at 1 in the first, but in that big 4-run third inning really put the Green Wave over the edge. They fought all night, all afternoon long. They had some good at-bats, only struck out 3 times, I think, today. But, like I said, they were resilient in that 7th inning. They wanted to extend the game as long as possible, but those 2 big innings, the 6th inning and the 3rd inning really coming back to bite them. And no matter, you can't fall behind against a Green Wave team that has such a great pitcher in Elsie Testa, who's dominated all season long. And when the Green Wave are scoring 9 runs, they're going to be almost impossible to beat because of that star on the mound in Elsie Testa.
Henry, you've now witnessed 2 wildly different Green Wave playoff games here in the first 2 rounds. 17 strikeouts last time for Testa. Really put the team on her shoulders in round 1. This time she let the defense do their jobs, only had the 2 Ks. If you're Uxbridge, what can you expect to see from this Green Wave team in the next round?
I mean, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get it. I mean, so far, the first 2 rounds they've hit. And when they hit, they win games. And you know what you're going to get from Testa. Testa's going to pitch as well as she possibly can. Obviously, the different outings are drastically different. You're going to get a 17 strikeout game in the first round. But as you move on the round, like we said, the teams are going to get better. Uxbridge is most likely going to be a better team than Wahconah, so the Green Wave just have to stay composed and just continue to, make the right plays. They're just laying bunts down, putting in play, and just forcing the defense to make mistakes. And you saw today, Abington made pretty much no mistakes defensively, and Testa, although she didn't get a lot of strikeouts, she trusted her defense, and I think if she can trust them again next round, they're going to be okay.
The bus is stuck no longer. Green Wave get the win over Wahconah Regional. Final score 9-4. They move on to the round of 8 against Stockbridge. Date and time TBD. Keep your eyes on Peter Serino's Twitter account at Abington AD for updates on that. Wahconah's season comes to an end here in Abington. Once again, the final score 9-4. Green Wave defeat the Warriors. On behalf of everyone here at Abington Community Access and Media, our executive producer Kevin Tocci, our camerawoman Mar, my broadcast partners, Henry Rogers, Dr. James Madden, I'm Mad Dog Matt Nelson, and we will see you next game.